Hello and welcome to the Kopala TV main news. And now for the headlines. Government warns troubled Chambishi metals. Agro dealers across the country owed over 300 million kwacha. Floods ravaged some parts of Ndola district on the Copper Belt. Impasse between FAZ and government disappoints soccer fans. Join us after this. To present the Kopala TV main news in detail, my name is Obwila Musongole. Government has threatened to revoke the mining license granted to Chambishi Metals if the mining company insists that the firm be placed under care and maintenance for 2 years. Details are in the following report. On Monday, the Mine Workers Union of Zambia, MUZ, announced the closure of Chambishi Metals for 2 years.
Unfortunately, we had prolonged meetings with the management of Chambishi Metals, where they informed the union that the company, Chambishi Metals, will be placed on care and maintenance beginning month of January. So Chambishi Metals will be placed again on care and maintenance, owing to the fact that the company has failed to find feedstock to run the metallurgical plant.
The placement of Chambishi Metals under care and maintenance now means that all the 229 employees at the firm have been declared redundant. This has not settled down well with stakeholders.
Those 229 employees who are going to be laid off, I think, in my view, if the government was so serious and the union at large, this issue could have been sorted out in a way that they couldn't have resorted into laying off or going on care and maintenance.
However, Mines Minister Richard Musukwa has told Kopala TV News that government does not support the decision undertaken by the mining firm. Mr. Musukwa has threatened to revoke the mining license of the mining firm.
I was with the management yesterday and I was with the union. You interview them, the cause of their putting the operation on care and maintenance. It has nothing to do with the 5% government put on concentrate. It's failure by the company to mobilize resources to procure feed for their operations.
Kalulushi Member of Parliament Kampamba Mulenga, who is also Community Development Minister, feels Chambishi Metals is not telling the truth about its real problems.
Yes, that is the stance of government. That is the stance of the people of Chambishi. That is the stance of the people of Kalulushi at large. So we are just waiting for a feedback from Chambishi Metals. I think the Minister of Mines made it very clear that if they do not do that in the shortest period of time, then they have to surrender the mining license so that government finds a credible investor. 2 years is a very long time for people to wait upon being redeployed. We do not want fears to rise in our people.
Government has given Chambishi Metals up to next week in which to make a decision over its business prospects and future in Zambia. On its part, government has further disclosed that it is ready to revoke the mining license issued to Chambishi Metals if it does not rescind its decision to shut its operations for 2 years. Obwila Musongole, Kopala TV News in Chambishi. Government owes agro dealers across the country over 300 million kwacha for inputs they supplied to farmers under the 2018-2019 farming season. And the agro dealers have appealed to government to immediately pay them their outstanding monies. Agro Business Association of Zambia President Gideon Kandudi has regretted that government has been slow in clearing the debt it owes agro dealers, adding that it has affected their business.
Government has not finished paying agro dealers. They still owe in the excess of 370 million. And for your information, most agribusiness this season didn't even participate because most of them closed down. So, government should honor. They keep saying they've paid. what they've been doing, they've been paying small amount, and the huge amount is still owed to agro dealers across the country. So they still owe us. They owe us in that excess, and we have no idea when they are paying the balance, because they've kept on saying they are liaising with the Minister of Finance, and when the funds are available, they will pay. And it's been over 1 year now. So which business do you do? And all of us were small SMEs, and we don't have enough capital. We had borrowed, and creditors on us, others are being sued, and things like that. So our appeal to government is that they need to pay. They need to pay so that they can restore sanity in the agri business, and again ensure that the economy does not collapse. Because you must understand that the economy is run by small businesses like ours. So the domestic debt that government is withholding is biting the economy, is also killing small businesses.
Economist Collins Mudenda says the drop by 3% of copper prices on the international market is normal. Mr. Mudenda says the drop in metal prices will have little or no significance to Zambia's economy. Mr. Mudenda, however, says Zambia's exchange earnings will also drop marginally following the drop in metal prices. Copper prices on the international market have markedly fallen in the last 1 week to around $6,150 per metric ton since the outbreak of the deadly coronavirus in China.
Well, I must mention that the reduction of about 3% which we have seen in the past 1 week or so is a normal reduction. On the market, there are different players with different interests and different speculation and motives, as well as the people are differently equipped at different times. Therefore, we do experience such losses in prices for any good, whether it's just a simple good or it's a big commodity like a copper price. So I expect that the reduction in 3% is one of those normal situations, meaning that we may not have significant losses in earnings due to this reduction. Now we must realize that most sellers of copper, even our own local companies, they sell on forward contracts, meaning therefore that the price at which they are selling could already be fixed. For instance, it could be fixed at 6,000 or 5,900 or 6,200 or whatever amount it is fixed on, meaning therefore that if the market price reduces, there is no effect on this seller, because their contracts are sealed at that price which is already agreed. Therefore, such a seller may not have any effect should the price gain or should the price lose. Now, the big problem is that they lose when the price gain, because them could only be selling at the agreed price.
Financial expert Mambo Hamaundu says it is practically impossible for government to reduce the inflation rate to a single digit. Mr. Hamaundu says the current economic situation that the country is going through makes it impossible for the inflation rate to drop. Last week, the Zambia Statistical Agency announced a rise in inflation rate to about 11.7% for the month ending December 2019. And Mr. Hamaundu says it is unlikely that Zambia's economy could grow by 3% this year. On Thursday, President Edgar Lungu said the economic prospects for Zambia are positive, adding that projections indicate a real growth rate of 3% and inflation to be maintained within a range of 6 to 8%.
So it's a bit difficult really to contain inflation within the 6 to 8%. I think that is a target which was set even for the year 2019. But you must realize and note that as we entered the last quarter of 2019, we breached the single-digit figure, and inflation was very close to 11%. So I think it's a bit of a challenge for us really to maintain an inflation rate of between 6 to 8%. And another factor which might actually make us not attain that, it is the aspect around how we have handled agriculture this year, or rather in the 2019-2020 farming season. Up to now, there are still people who are complaining of not having received their seed. There are still poor complaining trade and not receive their fertilizer. So the agriculture sector is still a bit in a bit of a chaotic state. And that is one area where we actually expected to relief from a perspective of inflation. Now, because when you sufficient food, you find that the prices of food drop, and food inflation contributes quite a significant portion to the general level of inflation. So I'm therefore thinking that we might not achieve as much from the agriculture sector, and because of that, it is unlikely that we could actually have a reasonably good inflation rate, which will range which will be in the range 6 to 8%. So it's something which might not be very feasible. But again, we probably have to wait for the results. I'd like to believe that the Minister of Agriculture will probably carry out a crop survey and will give us projections of what the output is likely to be from the agriculture sector, particularly for our staple food, which is maize.
Government's decision to increase taxes on second-hand clothes, popularly known as salaula, has saddened traders in Kitwe. Monica Baidu has the rest of the details.
The Zambian government has been exploring ways to broaden its tax base in a bid to increase revenue collection by the Treasury. In its quest to broaden the revenue base, government has targeted both the formal and informal sectors. The 2020 national budget has seen the revision of taxes on second-hand clothes, popularly known as salaula. However, the move to up taxes on second-hand clothes has not been well received by traders. The Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, has increased taxes on salaula to 25% and on value-added tax to 16%. Salaula traders Kopala TV has spoken to say the new tax band on second-hand clothes will affect their businesses.
Nishi business aweka manje because ngachakutila kulechita vyama orders yali already ama orders yali kodela kufuna kwa
vintu ivi navarunda mutengo roreje vintu ivi varunda mutengo vakastoma vaishipa mutengo ratwaresha mwakare so ivi varesa varedanda ora nezvipe vyakaene ivi nangu navarunda kudabwati tafirefumana kwino virefume vyakadimbosenda peona ivuturuka yapusana naratwaresenda kare
kukonka ifofwe vachitisha saraula nga valunda vyava muri uyu mutengo ukuru neshitimono kwevati vatuipai.
The salaula traders have an appeal to the government.
My appealing to the government is to at least they reduce the prices of those taxes so that even us, we can see where we can end.
If you're balundile, vaipa ifofo vachisha salaula. Because if you lashta mapels pamtengo ukuru, nga waleshta beo pali opini. Umuinaleta beo akubati ndeshisha beo pali 7. Nishukalako shashani mtengo.
With the continued economic meltdown that the country is facing, analysts predict that government will employ new tax methods or introduce new taxes in a bid to keep the treasury afloat. Monica Baidu, Kopala TV News in Kitwe.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. Join us after the break. Samaria Limited is a versatile company dedicated to meeting every need any of our customers may have. With us, you're guaranteed to have a pleasant and easy shopping experience with the best returns for your money's worth. We guarantee the best customer service in addition to the finest quality beverages at affordable prices. We have all your hardware requirements, from roofing sheets, wiring, piping, and much more. At Samaria Limited, we believe in good workmanship. Working well with one another is what gets our job done. Stationery is an essential. Whether it's a pencil for your personal drawings and designs, or a roll of paper for the company printer, we've got you covered. We stock various brands simply for your preference. We have an Airtel booth within our premises with airtime ready and available for all customers. We also offer Airtel Money services for easy money transactions and efficient clerks to attend to you, ensuring a fast and smooth procedure. If you're in need of any electronics, our store should be your go-to, with appliances ranging from household specifics to industrial commodities such as generators and inverters. If you need it, we have it. Our wholesale store stocks the best quality in food and other products, including cleaning necessities. And above all, our affordable prices ensure that you know how much we value you. You can find Samario Limited along President Avenue North, opposite Zambia Railways in Ndola, or call us on 0212 613 336 or 0212 619 992. Samaria Limited, your one-stop center for all you need.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back. Civil rights activist MacDonald Chipenzi has advised the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ to rescind its decision not to sponsor observers to witness the printing of ballot papers for the 2021 general elections. Mr. Chipenzi observes that stakeholders will lose confidence in the ECZ if they do not reverse the controversial move that has raised public outcry. On Tuesday, the ECZ Chief Electoral Officer Patrick Nshindano announced that the Commission will not meet the expenses for political party representatives and observers intending to witness the printing of ballot papers in Dubai.
What the ECZ is basically telling the stakeholders and the Zambian people and the world at large is that they don't need observers to observe the printing process in Dubai. Because in the first place, they have decided to take the printing process to Dubai, thousands of miles away from Zambia. And they want the stakeholders to go on their own cost. Did we tell them to go to Dubai? No. Actually, both government and stakeholders have been crying that why don't we do this printing locally? So that the money that they use to take stakeholders, including Electoral Commission of Zambia officers, to Dubai could be used here, could be cut. If you recall, and if you have been a follower of the electoral process in Zambia, we, the civil society in the electoral process, have been monitoring the elections throughout the country, not away from the ECZ. Have we heard us complaining? No. Why? It's because it's within the territorial boundaries of our country. We can't refuse. But if you decide to go to Dubai, the most expensive destination in the world, and you want me to go there using my own money, then you are basically saying, don't come. Remain where you are. It's like you tell the poor to come to the hotel to eat, and that poor person is in Chipata. The money that person will be using to come from Chipata to Cresta View Hotel to eat is enough for him or her to eat the whole month or beyond. So that is what we are saying. We don't have the resources as stakeholders. No stakeholder, even political parties, who manage to sponsor people to go to Dubai for 30 days upkeep.
Political activist Dante Saunders has bemoaned the rampant corruption in the awarding of government tenders. Mr. Saunders says most government tenders are awarded without following procedures, citing the Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) to print ballots in Dubai. And Mr. Saunders says the decision by ECZ not to sponsor observers for the printing of ballot papers amounts to electoral fraud.
Company only, without floating a tender. That's number 2. And number 3, to say that nobody will be sponsored to go and witness the printing of these ballot papers, I think it's completely wrong. For me, I would say to ECZ, all along, they've been sponsoring the wrong kind of people to go and check the ballot papers. You bring in parties that do not even participate in the elections. For me, I would imagine it is vitally and very important that the parties that are committed to be standing for the elections must be there to ensure that they are happy with the ballot papers that are printed from them, and there is no deals in between here and there. There will always be suspicion if you leave these political parties out. If I was running a political party, for instance, I would pull out immediately, knowing that I'm not allowed to go and verify the printing of the ballot papers. What would be the point? What would be the point? So for me, I think the parties that are going to be committed to participating in the elections, they should be there. And I think more so also with NGOs that are of importance to this country should also be allowed to go there, to go and witness the printing. Not to take those NGOs that have a problem already, that have a system, that are working with the government of the day. For me, I think the most important is there are strong political parties and strong NGOs that should be there to participate. You don't bring in those NGOs who have a problem with the law, a problem whereby they can't even, some of them, are in court because they can't justify what they've done with the donors' money and things like that. We need those people to be out. Let's get on to the real issues and bring.
Some parts of Ndola district on the Copperbelt have experienced flooding due to heavy rains in the areas. Helen Mwandila has the rest of the details in the following report.
Heavy rains have caused destruction to infrastructure and property in certain parts of the country. Crops have also been washed away and several people left homeless. Some parts of Mushili and Kaloko Township in Ndola district have in the last few days witnessed heavy rains. The rains have left some roads impassable and seen some houses collapse.
Kupanga miforo bantu amenshi onse ichonsira isurapa amenshi nomanga nefetu kwete fumaya nefyafironga Kopala nobwafurisho kubuteko obuli malanda bwafurisho tubakolera kofika yanto
so amenshi yalingira munganda apashiri na munganda ero nachula mwandini bashikuru nabo balirwara for 13 years so apa nchikwete nderomba kofi ubwafurisho apa kuma ukuboko pano nangu 50 ngwe ya makashikwete ubunga fyalibunda amarasha fyalibunda fyonse na nomba sondera ndafino nefi yakufwala fili mungandomu na mabedi amablanket amate fyonse fili mukati na fibola.
Flooding in this part of Ndola is as a result of blocked drainages in poorly constructed culverts and in some cases absence of drainages. The local authority in Ndola has moved on the ground and is ensuring that the drains are cleared.
The causes of flooding for Mushili and Kaloko are different. In Mushili, the major cause of the severe flooding is the poorly constructed small culverts at the main drainage outlet for Mushili across the new Dambo Road, which separates Mushili, Bonano and Masala. So what happened in this case, when the contractor Polytechnology was constructing that new road 2 years ago, they made small culverts because that is the main drainage outlet for Mushili. There should have been a huge culvert. So we know that the contractor were being supervised by engineers from Dollar City Council and the Road Development Agency, RDA, and they should have ensured that there is a bigger drainage. So what we have done there is that we worked with Zambia National Service, to get an excavator on site, and Dollar City Council, where we removed a lot of, dumped garbage. There's a lot of garbage dumping in the drainages in Mushiri, so a lot of it was removed.
Area Member of Parliament Jonas Chanda has called on residents to desist from throwing garbage in the drainages to avoid similar occurrences in the future.
So I want to appeal to Mushiri residents, please let us not dump garbage. You find all sorts of things that are dumped into the drainages. Mumiforo if you posa. Anyone who cuts trees, if you mutiama flowers, grass, nembwesha for dead dogs, they're all thrown into the drainages. We have plastic bottles. So when these block these drainages, there is backflow of water, and that is why you have a lot of people being affected by these floods.
Meanwhile, President Edgar Lungu has appealed to international partners to help government address the negative effects of floods, which have left some families homeless. Helen Mandela, Kopala TV News in Dola.
Koala Ward 5 councillor in Lusaka, Moses Walia, has embarked on clearing the historical garbage at Koala Market. Details are in the following report.
Lusaka's Koala Ward 5 councillor Moses Walia has embarked on clearing the historical garbage at Koala Market. The heap has been posing a health risk to traders and the general public. Speaking after witnessing the collection of garbage, Councillor Walia since warned of 10 action against anyone found dumping garbage at the same site. He said traders who generate waste should start paying for its proper disposal through the licensed waste collectors.
Vakachigwesa apa, we don't want muntu ali yonse kuyamba kubwera kuyamba kutaira ishiri kumugwira. So can you communicate mwaitani vantu vanu mwakazi vanu bonse? I know wena ngoma na manu public health amene swaza kumera avo ni zawe ndikumugwira straight out. Mwamvera, I think it's been explained. Example bazambo kukwesirani transport ya kuchoka kukanso yamene zambo tenga vamene mtenga murodi. Okay? Is a market zangilingana now zangala pansi tone how best we do na west amene chokera market. We don't want to kwa mna chokera ku downtown kwa mna school kwati kuti wabogera kutaira wose example kwira. So ndi announcement yamene tufanye pange pa. We don't want anyone to throw garbage here.
Reporting in Lusaka, I'm Lavika.
In case you have just tuned in, you are watching the Kopala TV main news. Join us after this. Samaria Limited is a versatile company dedicated to meeting every need any of our customers may have. With us, you're guaranteed to have a pleasant and easy shopping experience with the best returns for your money's worth. We guarantee the best customer service in addition to the finest quality beverages at affordable prices. We have all your hardware requirements, from roofing sheets, wiring, piping, and much more. At Samaria Limited, we believe in good workmanship. Working well with one another is what gets our job done. Stationery is an essential. Whether it's a pencil for your personal drawings and designs, or a roll of paper for the company printer, we've got you covered. We stock various brands simply for your preference. We have an Airtel booth within our premises with airtime ready and available for all customers. We also offer Airtel Money services for easy money transactions and efficient clerks to attend to you, ensuring a fast and smooth procedure. If you're in need of any electronics, our store should be your go-to, with appliances ranging from household specifics to industrial commodities such as generators and inverters. If you need it, we have it. Our wholesale store stocks the best quality in food and other products, including cleaning necessities. And above all, our affordable prices ensure that you know how much we value you. You can find Samaria Limited along President Avenue North, opposite Zambia Railways in Dola, or call us on 0212 613 336 or 0212 619 992. Samaria Limited, your one-stop center for all you need.
Looking for an opportunity to grow your business? Well, Kopala TV has good news for all small-scale businesses. You can now advertise on Kopala TV's Makwebo. Bonseba na mayo na bashtata. Iseni mulangishe amakwebo yenu pamutengo uachepa nga 100 kwacha. Yes, you heard right. For as low as 100 kwacha, your business will get its peak. Whatever the business, we will advertise. All you need to do is send a text of what your business offers, indicating the name, location, and contact details to the number below. Payment for the advertising spot can be made through MTN mobile money on the number down below. Makwebo, make your business known.
Welcome back, and now in international news. The World Health Organization says the coronavirus is not yet a global emergency, despite having killed over a dozen people. WHO has, however, described it as a high-risk threat to the world. We monitored Al Jazeera for this story.
At Fiumicino Airport in Rome, they're taking no chances, for good reason. The people being monitored with heat scanners have just flown in from Wuhan, the centre of the outbreak. They left before the Chinese city was put in lockdown, but scenes like this have played out around the world. At Sydney Airport, serving Australia's largest city, many of those flying in from Wuhan on Thursday wore face masks. They knew they'd be screened, but there were no reports of illness, and they weren't overly worried.
Before we got off the plane, and a few Australian government people come to spray everywhere. And when we get off, and some people tested the fever and ask some question about your cough.
In the US, one person's known to have contracted the virus. Health officials in the state of Washington, where the man lives, say he's well and should be allowed home soon.
As of now, there are at least 16 identified close contacts. Local health departments started reaching out to them yesterday and continue to do so today.
And the list of countries with confirmed cases of the virus is getting larger, most in Eastern Asia, but some further afield.
The data that we've gathered has suggested, that this could be a very dangerous virus with potential for global spread, and even, I don't think it's being too extreme to say, even potential, for a global epidemic. But I don't think that's inevitable at this point, and the next couple of weeks will be really important to making an assessment of what the real risk is.
Still, the mere possibility means checks like this at major airports until medical experts know a lot more.
There's a whole series of questions we have to ask. We don't have all of those answers yet. We have some of them. We know how to diagnose it. We increasingly know how to treat people when they get it. What we don't yet know is when somebody's infectious and who they pass it on to somebody else.
The next few weeks could tell us exactly how much of a threat this coronavirus poses worldwide. Nadeem Barber, Al Jazeera.
In sports news, impasse between FAZ and government disappoints soccer fans. Joshua Mweto has the rest of the details.
Sports Minister Emmanuel Mlenga is embroiled in a big brawl with the Football Association of Zambia FAZ on the administration of the sport in the country. FAZ has accused Mlenga of directly interfering in the running of football, an allegation the sports minister denies. The brawl got personal and worsened after FAZ announced a new coach to drill the Kopala boys earlier in the week. Mlenga was quick to reject the new Serbian coach, claiming government was in the dark over the appointment. The impasse between Mlenga and FAZ deepened when FAZ shortlisted the names of prospective coaches to drill the Kopala boys. Mlenga had initially wanted soccer icon Kalusha Wada to be included on the select committee for a new coach. The politics at Football House have now been taken to FIFA. Soccer fans in Kitwe feel the impasse involving the Minister of Sports and Football House is not good for the development of football in Zambia.
FAZ is an affiliate to FIFA. Whatever is happening at FAZ, FIFA should know. So what is happening here in Zambia where we have seen that the Minister of Sport is interfering with FAS works. To me, it's uncalled for.
First and foremost, I would like to say it's unacceptable. We just have to work hand in hand due to the fact that the Football Association of Zambia has got no money to pay the coaches.
Fans have advised Mlenga not to interfere in the running of football in the country, but Mlenga insists that he is not interfering in the affairs of FAS. The outcome on the decision by FIFA on the impasse between Mlenga and FAS might affect the running of the sport, as Zambia risks being penalized by the soccer governing body. Joshua Mwetwa, Kopala TV News in Kitwe.
To end the Kopala TV main news, we recap on today's headlines. Government warns troubled Chambishi metals. Agro dealers across the country owed over 300 million kwacha. Floods ravaged some parts of Ndola district on the Copper Belt. And impasse between FAS and government disappoints soccer fans. Thank you for watching the Kopala TV main news. My name is Obula Musongola and enjoy the rest of your day.